Hello sir, this side please come here. Yeah. ये बिल्कुल निकालना है.
Hi.
फोटो मार यहाँ पर फोटो मार कैमरा से फोटो मार. कैमरा से
मेरा ये पकड़ो नहीं.
के हाथ जस्ट पीछे.
You like Sri
Yeah, thank you.
Because it was so easy to connect. It was so seamless in terms of a transition, where she shared her fears and it was received in a way that told her that that's okay, we can sort it out and you're brilliant. So this is what, if I could sum it up.
I will still want to add that positive reinforcement or positively encouraging students to make the right choice is at the heart of what we do. So every school year, any place, any class here, the children will be the ones who create their own class agreement. They are the ones who come up with what the class rules are, and then they are expected to be following those. Rather than a teacher or a school giving them a list of things, do not do that, and scolding them. This is where we also we make sure that there's the agents, students have the agency to make the right choices, but then they also remind you, hey, this is, you've come up with this agreement and that is your, yes.
Yeah.
And one more thing is the breaks and the balanced curriculum as well, because if you're sitting all through the day and the teacher changes and you're just taking up a book, that's not what education is anymore. So it is you need the brain break and you need also some activities in order to remain happy.
Thank you.
One small follow-up question. So how do you exactly ensure that children come to school to actually learn and evolve and not to compete with each other?
Difficult one.
That actually, because it's a difficult question. You can't mention it in a few sentences, but answer it in a few sentences. But if you look around the campus, we have a master chef classroom right there, right? But people don't realize it, but that kitchen there is also a chemistry lab as well, right?
Yeah.
So they are learning by doing. So it's not that okay. So when you make food, it's not going to be a competition. Okay, your food was tastier than mine. Both of them have made the same food, right? But the process of making that food is what they are learning, not whether which food is more tasty or not. That's how we ensure it in school.
And to be honest, that's all what we're trying to do. To make sure that they don't focus on the result, they focus on the process, and that's why the Finnish pedagogy.
And connecting to Finnish education in Finland, actually in our country, the state legislation says that schools' prior task is to support parenthood and parents upbringing their own children. That's in our law. So how do we as a school want to place ourselves in that family context? So kids need to learn that they can't split. Teacher is saying something, mother is saying something else. So most of the teachers are answering, it's me, teacher, I'm responsible for learning. I don't think that's the right question. It should be the student, ultimately. So we need to teach them, make them learn the skills that they need in the future. Yes.
And quite frankly, been in this industry for 20 years, I think thanks to Shashank, we have the Finnish way, finally, which talks about all-rounder, which talks about life skills, which talks about learning in a way that will help you to do whatever you want to do. And you don't have to go to Columbia or a Harvard or an Oxford. But I think what the Finnish education is providing us with is an opportunity to recognize who we really are
I think maybe again I will add to what Nikke mentioned, that he's worked in many countries before, and I think I've learned about the Finnish approach when I've been abroad. So I've also worked in the UK and in Qatar, in the United Arab Emirates, in addition to Finland and now India as well. And something that I really wanted children to learn is to think for themselves, not just accept something that's been told as this is what it is. So we want to make sure that we also encouraging them to be thinkers, and that aligns very beautifully with the International Baccalaureate framework.
What support service are available for students when begin at FIS?
What support services?
yeah.
We have appointed counsellor as well as special education needs teacher. Additionally, we ensure that we've got small groups when the children are working in, and also co-teaching, so there will be more than one teacher in the room with the students, so that we can truly support each individual with their personalized learning plans.
Also, what happens is when we plan the lesson plans, we have a differentiation. So we recognize the child's talent, we recognize a child's ability, and therefore we customize. So it's kind of very, very personalized.
And if there would be any kind of learning support need, or maybe psychosocial need also regarding your growth, we don't want to send the child to someone. So that's why individual class teacher, subject teacher, and teacher teams, their own skills also to recognize those support needs early and act and work preventively. It's very important. We don't want to send a child, go to counselor, go to psychologist. We want to work them. They come to the children, they come to the classroom.
And also the teachers get the support. So the teachers are working closely together in order to develop further. And that is one of the big things. You need to be able to support the teachers in their work as well. Not just in the beginning of each term, but weekly and daily in impact.
So, one of the other things is when we talk about all-rounders, Shashank, talk about the association that we have with VCI.
So actually the thing is that when we're talking about holistic development of the child, right? So lot of in general in the schools which we have in India and everything, it's basically extracurricular activities, right? In this school there is nothing called extracurricular activities, it's part of the curriculum. So now all the sports that are there, it is part of your curriculum, part of your study and learning environment. So for that you require a sports complex. So instead of making an entire sports complex, we have a tie with NSCI where all the children will be using NSCI facilities. They will be going from school to NSCI and learn the sports and the different activities which we have planned for them. And this is not at any extra fees or anything, it is included in the fees. So you don't have to go anywhere else. It's basically given everything in one location.
And sometimes parents ask that when are they having fun, because the school day is seen like boring, and then there are extracurricular activities after the school day. That doesn't make much sense from the students and child's perspective. So the school day is holistic, like Shashank said. It has to have the joy and the happiness and the willingness to learn from morning till the afternoon.
So there's swimming, there's
Badminton, there's football,
yeah.
there is tennis and cricket obviously, which is there, and swimming and swimming is actually compulsory. So if you see once you see the campus as well, so we have a small time when toddlers learn swimming. It is a compulsory lesson for the toddlers because it is a life-saving skill, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
If there is floods in Bombay, you need to know how to swim. Some point or the other, and I think all of us faced it during the 26/11 the flood time, right? So these are all necessity life skills which the children need to learn.
And when our students will visit Finland, have a field trip in Finland, yes, there are only 5.6 million people in our country. We have 200,000 lakes.
But no cricket. No cricket.
In a Finnish baseball.
So I'm teaching Shashank cricket.
Okay.
He's not a fan.
So till what standard you are starting this first year?
Up to grade 7.
Understood. From next year?
Of course, we will introduce and we are. Grade 11 and 12 will be operational from
Next year. Next year. 25.
August
25.
Yeah, 25. Yeah.
So every year the 7 will become 8 and 9. But we are also opening grade 11 directly in next year August.
Also because of the program, we want to make sure that children have enough opportunity to learn.
So I have two questions. One is for the Phoenix board members and one for Shashank sir. So the first one is personal and heartfelt. So as representatives of the happiest country in the world for the 7th time, how do you ensure that the Indian students coming to a Finnish school are happy as per Finnish standards? Because traditionally, as speaking as a former student, we are imbued with this mindset of competitiveness that when you go to school, you don't go for individual growth, you go to win and compare yourself. So how would you
So I will answer that.
So I'll just finish my question
Yes,
quickly. So how does your curriculum and your education philosophy transcend